Yay, I'm unmuted. What's happening, everybody? Welcome to another WrestleSense live report. Today we're going to review Elimination Chamber from Perth, Australia. Hope everyone's doing good out there today. It's your boy Blaze. We are just going to quickly recap. It's not going to be a really long show. I'm not doing any simulation or anything this time around. Just going to talk about my thoughts on the show, recap what happened, which to a lot of people very predictable, but it is what it is. And we'll also open up the floor to you guys. So I will send out the StreamYard link at the end, and you guys can come in and chime in what you thought about it, et cetera, et cetera. And we have a couple shows to promote here today as well, because later on tonight, Legion of Dork will be live. Love doing those podcasts when we go back and talk about old school commercials, TV shows, cartoons, toys, comic books, all that stuff. That'll be live tonight at 8 o'clock. We'll get the link to that and drop it in here as well. As next week, 1 week from tonight, we will be talking live about 2K24, because 2 days before the release date. Why am I saying so much? We're also live over on the Hardcore Sports Network. A lot of stuff going on. It's the weekend. It's Sunday. Neo Extreme is live right now. You got Riley Wolf playing an old game live right now. Triple Beat and Odds are doing their podcast right now. So much to check out there on a Sunday, obviously. Going to try to keep this short and sweet so people watch it on the replay. Make sure you guys check it out over on the Hardcore Sports Network. We need some watch hours and time over there, so drop a like over there. I know most of you guys watch on my channel, and that's all fine and dandy. But let's get to we got Daniel Barry in the house, Jake Bagwell, Crushing Kelly. People starting to file in now, and that's all good. Like I said, going to try to keep it short and sweet. I normally run my mouth for way too long when I say that. But speaking of the Legion of Dork will be live at 8 o'clock tonight. For those that want to come by and watch it. I might drop the StreamYard link for people to pop in and, share their reactions and stuff too. Amadeus! LA's in the building. Great to see you. So hit the thumbs up, and if you haven't already, subscribe over in the Hardcore Sports Network as well. You can drop a like over there. Also, we appreciate it. Here, I'll drop the link for it if you really guys want to go over there. We are live on the Hardcore Sports Network as well. So, Elimination Chamber, Perth, Australia. Good for the people of Australia to get a big show like this. Trying to do a lot of clerical work here to get us going. There we go. But we're going to get into the recap. We're going to talk about quickly everything that happened. Then I'll share out the StreamYards link. A couple of you guys can pop in and share what you thought about it as well. I don't have a bunch of notes. I'm not going to go over it play by play. We talked about it the other day that it seemed like it was going to be a pretty predictable pay-per-view. But, for the Australian fans, they don't get to experience that much. The crowd was hot. The scene was amazing, as we'll see here in a little bit. But just like last week, we did our recap, and we started out with this. We started out with some old ex-WWE guys going out and having some success. We saw Nick Nemeth, formerly Dolph Ziggler, win the IWGP Global title. We saw Matt Riddle beat Tanahashi to win the New Japan World Television title. Now, does this mean we could see either of them on a Forbidden Door type show in AEW? Maybe. Only time will tell. And so we did a preview. I played the matches on 2K23. We got some weird scenarios that happen because it's all AI versus AI. We just let the simulation figure out who's going to win. It was pretty fun, though. Go back and check out the preview if you want. It didn't hit it right on the nail, but that's not what it was for. It was just for a little background for us, something to talk about as I keep WrestleSense alive in some sorts with these little live reports, pre-shows, post-shows for pay-per-views. If we get a major happening or a major news story, in wrestling, I might go live for something like that as well. But big shout out to everybody who's in the live chat. If you're watching a replay, please leave a like, share it out, drop me a comment so I know what you thought about the chamber, and so I know you stopped by. So let's go back to it. Another ex-WWE character finding success in other places. Ali, headline, No Surrender, winning the TNA X Division Championship. A lot of rumblings over there in TNA, losing Scott D'Amore, but trying to keep it together because they had a ball of steam going coming into 2024. And I'm always the one that hopes that all the companies can do well, because I want to see wrestling thrive and all the wrestlers out there have somewhere to play, to fight, to succeed. And that's what we have right now in professional wrestling. It's a beautiful thing. It's not all perfect. It never was, never will be. And it's okay to be a fan of more than one or just one company that's out there. We always encourage people to go to your local indie federation if you can. Neo Extreme, I popped into his stream. Thank you for sharing this out while he is live. That's respect right there, boy. So let's get into the show. Predictable as far as results, yes, but that's for us smarks, us people that are all over the internet or following, right alongside of it. What I was hoping for was, because you got to think, teasing Becky, teasing Drew a lot. I thought maybe they'd give us some other types of surprises. Like, they could have named a Hall of Famer. That Hall of Fame class is coming up in a month. We don't know who's in the Hall of Fame class yet. They could have announced the headliner. Triple H brought Bautista out. That would have been pretty crazy as the headliner. I'm really hoping Paul Heyman goes in a Hall of Fame. I'm not going to make it to the Hall of Fame scenario in Philadelphia, but I will be flying in on Saturday. Maybe going to night one if I can scalp a ticket, maybe after the show starts or something. And then I will be attending night two, hopefully to see Cody finish this damn story so we can stop hearing story. But I was hoping they would do little surprises here and there, which we'll go over shortly. But let's get into the recap, the review of Elimination Chamber, Perth, Australia. The sights were unreal. Look at this. The shot up top when the sun's setting and you can see the whole city of Perth above the arena. That's crazy. I saw someone really being funny. How everyone's sharing these screenshots of AEW with blank seats and shit. People took that top one and circled the white areas. Like, look at all the empty seats and up there. Oh boy. Yeah, story. I definitely want story in my wrestling, but quit saying it. Quit telling me about the story. Just give me a story. But the sights and sounds, nobody can do it like WWE. It's a spectacle. The setup, the pyro, the entrances. And for those of Australia to finally get to see this up close and personal was pretty amazing. I kind of thought, because of the chamber structure, that they would do those two matches last, but it ended up being okay and made a little WrestleSense because they made it available to pull down and up. A lot of people I saw talking about the fact it was over 4 hours, that maybe it should have been shortened a little bit. We had like 55 minutes in between one of the matches, which and that's where I'm at, Gav. Some of the results, all of the results were pretty predictable, but it did move the stories ahead. A lot of stories. It even created a couple new stories. But this view of the actual arena and everything around it, that's just phenomenal to me. That just looks awesome. Okay. So we're going to get into a recap of exactly what happened. Oh boy. I don't normally throw my link in other people's chats, but they were talking about me in a good way. So I figured, hey, come on, come hang out with us. So let's get into the matches, the results, and what happened. Yeah, Kelly, I just put it in your chat. I appreciate you. All right. So here we go. Pre-show started out with, I mean, they made this announcement late, and I was kind of happy that they made this announcement. I'm not an Indy Hartwell fan. I've made that pretty well known. No offense. She's a good worker. I don't think she's ready for the main roster, but I'm not a fan of hers. But I get the fact she's in Australia. Like when I go to a Pittsburgh show and either like Shane Douglas or Kurt Angle or Britt Baker and Wardlow came out, the place pops. The place pops a little more for hometown people. So I kind of get it. It's kind of, there's a lot of mixed reasoning why Bronson Reed wasn't in it. Bronson Reed from there as well. There was talk about him having a baby. He was supposed to be in a match with Seth, but Seth got hurt. So it looked like they were thinking about giving him a title fight, but who cares? Who knows? He didn't get a match. It sucks. All the behind the scenes, if you know me, I like to focus on what happened on the show and in the ring. There's a lot of stuff that happens behind the scenes and stuff that's not directly related with the fights and the wrestling, but hey, it is what it is. There's Rick Logan. What's happening, big guy? Good to see you. But this match, I mean, it was pretty much thrown to Candice and Indy. They used to be part of the Way in NXT, so they has tag team experience. It was a good fight, but nothing to really write home about. And your tag team champions remained the Kabuki Warriors. It's going to be interesting to see how they handle. They did further the storyline a little bit with Dakota Kai and Bayley. Will Dakota turn? Is she really on Bayley's side? I think they got a tag team match coming up, but it's really interesting. I want Damage Control to change their name. I kind of wish they would change their name now that Bayley's not in it, because Bayley pretty much was Damage Control. I don't think he was available. That's what they were trying to say, Kelly. Yeah, I mean, I think they could have, like you're saying, I think they could have found a way for him to have, an opening match or something like that. But they didn't, and it's over, and nothing much you can do. Maybe they'll work that in. I like a little real life mixed into my storylines every once in a while. So maybe they can play that up and make Bronson Reed even more pissed off and angry that he didn't get a match in Australia. Charles Adderley, good to see you, my friend. Welcome in, welcome in. Good to see you. And if you're watching it on my channel, hey, go over to the Hardcore Sports Network. Drop a like over there. We need a little watch time. Even if you want to watch it over there, it's fine. Either place. Here on the Blaze Radio Network, Hardcore Sports Network, we family. All right. Let's move on to the main card. And we got a talk show. I just wanted to cover this one first. I believe it's out of order. I don't forget exactly where they put this, but Grayson Waller getting a little shine down there, getting his time to do an interview. Austin Theory came down, and it ended up being, Cody and Seth beating up Austin Theory. Hey, maybe we'll see a tag team match with Seth and Cody versus those two or something. But I was hoping that this, and we talked about it on the preview show, if you're going to have a talk show like this, is there going to be some big announcement or something behind it? Some people were saying maybe Seth turns on Cody already, but I didn't see that coming, because they're going to build that up as he's his shield, as he said, he's behind him. Waller and Theory, they're tag team. They're a tag team. Well, if you notice, I guess there could be something to that, because Waller didn't really help him. Theory just got his ass kicked. So Cody and Seth got a little action. Grayson got his pop for coming in and having the talk show. So I'm not against having a talk show like this. I like Grayson Waller. I mean, I would have liked to see, why not Grayson Waller versus Bronson Reed? There you go. There's no story behind it or nothing, but at least we could have got two guys from that area fighting each other. Theory face turn. You never know, man. I mean, I wouldn't rule anything out. It's hard to tell what they're going to pull off, what's going to happen. It really is. And that's what I like about it right now. As predictable we're saying as this show was, there were a couple little surprises that we'll get to, things that you couldn't predict. But they could have done a little more. I really wish they would have named a Hall of Famer. I mean, I'll reiterate that again. Thank you, Charles Adderley, for your support, my brother. Keep those thumbs up coming. So we got the talk show. The one thing that some people were talking about, shout out to Wrestling Days, my boy with his unseen footage that he does. Seth not really giving the one. He's giving the middle finger up. And then there's a lot of comparisons to how Velveteen Dream used to wear the third eye thing too. But kind of funny that Seth, instead of acknowledging the tribal chief, because Grayson Waller told the crowd to acknowledge him, blah, blah, blah. So kind of funny. I like it. Little detail. I love the little Easter eggs. And it's not a QR code or anything. Firefly Factory, Fun Factory type stuff where they were having all these little things that you have to pick up on someone in the background and stuff like that. But that was funny. Kind of something cool. So the talk show is all right. It is what it is. Let's get to the women's chamber match. The women's chamber match came out next, and Raquel taking supposedly Jade Cargill's spot. I don't have a problem with that. I like them to bring Jade Cargill on as slow as possible. I really think I was totally cool with the Bianca and Jade being a tag team for a while, because that's one way to kind of work Jade along and have her work side with someone who's been in the WWE system for a while. Oh no, it's Mitch Kosky. You and your fucking 69 stuff. I've gotten a lot of people from my community and my network to subscribe over there. I'm pretty sure most of them have already subscribed to the Hardcore Sports Network. But if you haven't, please subscribe to the Hardcore Sports Network. Thank you, Nightbot. That's another one I was here in LA. But I mean, and this we don't know because we're not behind the scenes. I'm not one of those sons of bitches that's going to try to guess and tell you how everything is behind the scenes and what they're thinking. I don't know. I actually like reacting to these shows other than previewing and trying to predict. I'm not a big fan of predicting wrestling. I know what I would like to happen and what I think the company might do, but whatever happens, I just react to that. But we got Andy Price in the house. I want to thank you for being on the preview show. A New Zealander, not Australian, but close enough. I got you. On the preview, Jamar's in the house as well. Keep those thumbs up coming. I think Liv's going to get her time. She had just come back. She's got this Revenge of Liv tour, and I dig that. I think that's a kind of a cool thing they can play off of for a while. So I'm hype about that. Azrael's in the house as well. Good to see you. So we got these 6 ladies, and I mean, there was some false finishes where you thought Becky might have got eliminated, which could have, changed the result. I think Tiffany Stratton had a great showing once again. The moonsault off the pod and stuff like that. I mean, to see Naomi back in full force in WWE after her stint over in TNA. Raquel looked great. Raquel looked like she was going to be the one for a while that was going to win. So I kind of dug that too, giving her some shine because she is a dominant force. And I appreciated that, how they did it. A lot of people were saying they liked the women's chamber better than the men's. I didn't have a problem with either one. I mean, I can sit here and nitpick, but if you know me, I'm not that guy. There's enough out there. I'm not going to sit here and tell you how it should have been, what it should have been. But like I said, we all thought it was going to happen. They teased her fighting Rhea, and I always think it looks weird when Becky's doing the disarmer. And they call her the Man. And she's got this big, long appendage coming out between her legs. That's some of you wrestling fans out there when you're watching, sitting in your room. No, just kidding. So yeah, Becky with the disarmer there. The great shot inside the chamber. I mean, the camera work ever since what's his name is gone from WWE. The production value, I think, has really, really gotten better. I don't even want to mention his name. But you see all these new little vignettes, I'm a graphic design type person, so I like all the new little graphics that they do on the shows, the drone footage through the arenas and different views that they're giving us. I really want the what did they call it? The Okerlund position. You got the gorilla position, which is behind the curtain for Gorilla Monsoon. And they always said the Okerlund position is on the stage interviewing someone and you see the crowd behind them. I love that shit. I really hope they bring that back. Why'd you have to mention his name? I'm done with that guy. It's a Dunne pun. A Dunne pun. A Dunne pun. Yeah, they were Tiffany, and I said this on the pre-show. Most of these girls are faces. And I mean, the winner's going to face heel Rhea. So it makes sense, WrestleSense. But Tiffany pretty much is only one that's kind of playing a heel character, the buff Barbie, but the crowd loved her. The crowd was into her big time. Yeah, Mean Gene Okerlund. And Becky won, right? It was the right choice. Bianca versus Rhea would be a huge Mania match too. Maybe that'll be next year. Who knows? But they've been teasing it, at the press conference stuff and everything. So Becky won the chamber and she's going on to face Rhea. Now, it's funny because the main event after the men's chamber, I turned it off because it was 5 in the damn morning. I was in and out of sleep during some of this show. So I did rewatch some of it and saw more highlights later. But after that match, Corey Graves made the announcement that, it looks like Becky will be taking on Rhea at WrestleMania. But the only problem was Rhea didn't defend her title against Nia yet. So if you want to call it a botch, I hate that word. But yeah, Rhea was going to face Nia. Yeah, I totally forgot about Rhea versus Nia. I thought in one of my little naps while I was watching it that I missed that match, which could have been the case. But I'm glad I didn't, and I'm glad it was the main event. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. Yeah, out of those ones, Bianca, Liv could be, Tiffany just got up. But yeah, Lynch was the right pick. And will it headline night one? That's the question now. Will we see the big rumored tag match? Or will it be Becky versus Rhea main event night one? Who knows? We'll find out hopefully in the next couple weeks. As we got 4 matches now. All the championship matches are booked for Mania. Tag team match. Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne. Glad, once again, his name is Pete Dunne. Against Finn Bálor and Damian Priest. The one thing that, man, you got to see this, that from this match. Now, first of all, Tyler Bate. You might want to rethink your trunks. They look like underpants. They look like tighty whities. I get the design, but from afar, it looked like dude was literally wrestling in his underwear. Literally in his underwear. So, maybe put some more lines or stripes around it. Reverse the colors or something. He looks like he's wearing underpants. Am I wrong? Tell me when I'm telling lies. People say that. So I was watching it going, damn it, Tyler Bate. It looks like you're in your we call them gutchies here. Gutchies, your underpants, your tighty whities. Come on. But Finn Bálor and Damian Priest ended up getting a win. But the story for me was Finn Balor's fucking thumb. Yikes. When he hit now, Pete Dunne did his thumb spot like twice, but it was when he did the I don't know why they call it coup de grace. It's a coup de grace. Isn't that how you say it? But like Corey, I don't know if they're doing it on purpose or not. They're Americanizing it or whatever. Coup de grace. But when he did it, he landed and his thumb just fucking either bet it was broken. I don't know. He said he's fine. So I think it was just separation. But it was definitely popped out of place. You could see it was a little bit of blood. And right at the end, you see him grab it and pop it back into place and still hold the title up. And man, you got to give it to it. This one thing a lot of people don't think about these guys. These guys are highly conditioned, strong athletes, that risk their bodies every time they step into the ring. And Finn Bálor had to pop his thumb back into place. Ugh! It wasn't the floppy leg of remember when Eddie Guerrero did a frog splash and a bone was popping out of his elbow? A lot of people don't remember that. But there's been some crazy accidents, the broken ankle over on AEW. Dante Martin. So there's been Sid Vicious was the flopping boot when his leg was flopping around. So there's been some crazy real injuries. We're going to talk about worked injuries here in a little bit too, which doing phenomenal work. These guys selling these injuries and people all over the internet like, oh my God, he's hurt. Oh my God, he's really hurt. He was really hurt. Finn was really hurt. That thumb was out of place. But after the coup de grace, he got the pin. They got the win. So you have Judgment Day, still your tag team champions. All signs point to Miz and R-Truth. They really got to try to get Miz over as a face if they're going to do that, and have Miz and R-Truth go for the belts. I wouldn't be against DIY. Maybe a 3-way tag match at Mania with DIY. Yeah, that was WCW when he had the flopping boot. Blaze Punk? What are you talking about? I ain't dropping no mics. I ain't sitting down. So you're still your tag team champs, Priest and Bálor. Still wondering what they're going to do with Priest's briefcase. I kind of feel like it's going to be a failed cash in. I don't know. We'll see. Time's running out there, Damian. The men's Elimination Chamber. Once again, pretty predictable. Oh, the tell me when I'm telling lies thing. Gotcha. Yes. I knew that. I knew someone would catch on to that. The only other one I saw other than Drew would be maybe Orton, but Orton now has someone else to feud with, and we'll talk about that. Couple new feuds started from this, and as horrible as Logan Paul looked in the fight, which was part of what he was supposed to do. He was supposed to get his ass beat. So Logan Paul got ragdolled around and got beat up. But he had a little fun during this. And he got his picture. He got his viral moment as well. Even though it didn't end up great, he got his viral moment. So LA Knight, Kevin Owens, Bobby Lashley, Logan Paul. I was pretty sure Logan Paul was there to do a spot off the pod. That's what I thought, because of the height that he gets when he jumps and his athleticism. Hey, Wally, add a kiss. Good to see everybody. Keep those thumbs up coming. Share it out. And if you're catching a replay, trying to keep this one about an hour. No need to go any further than that. I'm going to drop the link for you guys to share your thoughts later. This I thought was great. Someone slipped a little mini mic in there for him. And he has a big Sharpie pen drawing a big fat Kevin Owens thing. Kevin sucks. He even made the horns over there. It was going into demon mode or whatever. So, but that plays up to his persona. He wanted his little viral moment, something that's never been done. When he went over to the pod and Kevin Owens was in there and Kevin Owens started banging his head off the pod, it just shows you how insane KO is and shows you what a prick Logan Paul is. And that's what he's there to be. Brooklyn Joker, good to see you. He's there to be a prick. He's there to be a guy that just, pisses you off, and that annoying kid in school, the rich kid that's always, it's crazy. I'm telling you, that's what he's there to do. He's there to make people hate him, because every time they showed him, the crowd booed like crazy. And it was pretty cool, because that's what he's there for. And he knows it. He knows the business well. A lot of people give him shit because of things he's done in the past and whatnot, but he's super athletic, and he got that spot, this spot. Look at that. Now, the end of it didn't look that great. He was beat up through the whole match. So selling the injuries, the beatdown that he took, but still getting this one viral picture of him diving through the air off of the pod looked incredible. It looked insane from here. During the match, the end of it didn't look that great. So it wasn't anything to really write home about. But then we got our surprise. As Bobby Lashley was taken out of the chamber, selling an injury of his own, his elbow, AJ Styles out of nowhere comes in and goes right after LA Knight with the chair over and over. I love heel AJ, relentless AJ, tweener AJ, whatever you want to call him. But AJ Styles came in. This was our surprise. Like I said, I would have loved to see a Hall of Fame announcement. Something about WrestleMania added. Triple H came out and just told you the attendance, which wasn't paid attendance. It was just the attendance. So if he gives you the attendance, that's counting everybody in the building, which is fine. They always inflate those numbers. Triple Beats in the house. Welcome in. Call shot must have ended. I got it up here. I was still watching. Like I said, there's a lot of action on weekends, Sundays. Riley's done as well with his old school wrestling thing. And Neo's still alive if you guys want to go see some digital wrestling. Neo Extreme Gaming is still alive. But AJ Styles, we got our surprise there. And I loved it. And it looks like we're going to get AJ versus LA Knight. So LA Knight, AJ Styles should be a WrestleMania match. There's a lot of other matches I'd rather see, but if they're going to build it up, I'm down. I'm down to see what they can do. The other one was Randy Orton and Logan Paul. Now, here's another one. We're going to look at this shot here. Randy Orton, Logan Paul. Now, will Logan Paul put up his U.S. title against Randy Orton at Rumble? I don't know. Like, Randy Orton sold his back injury the whole way through this match. Kudos to him for selling. A lot of people thought it was a legit injury. You know, he sold that back really well. And he may have legit been in back pain, but he sold it really well. But then every once in a while, he's hitting these RKOs that were phenomenal. No pun intended, AJ. Mania. I said Rumble. But will we get Logan Paul versus Orton at Mania? A lot of people are like, Randy Orton's been a world champion. Why would he go after the U.S. title? I mean, I think he had it one time, Atticus. I looked it up. We were talking about the other day. I think he had it one time. But there's no rule that said just because you were a world champ that you can't be a U.S. or Intercontinental champ. Actually, I think it adds more validity to the U.S. and Intercontinental titles if you give it to someone established, someone who's been a world champion. There's no rule that you can't win one of the mid-card titles after having the top title. I mean, I kind of get where people are coming from with it, but I think Orton and Logan Paul can put on a hell of a show. I mean, we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, I looked it up and I can't remember. It was 2000, was it 15 or 16? I remember Randy Orton. I mean, I know I looked this up because we were talking about it the other day because I was trying to justify, why would they give him the belt? Why would they give him a shot at the U.S. title? United States champion. He won his first U.S. title in 2018, becoming the 18th overall Grand Slam champion after already having been the 17th Triple Crown champion. So 2018, he was your United States champion. I did mean Mania. All right. I meant Mania. I said Rumble. I said Chamber. I meant Mania. Mania's the next show. I'll be there. But Orton's selling that back injury the whole way through. And Drew, I mean, there was a point. It really looked like Orton might win this Chamber. The fact that Logan was still in it late, I mean, the beatdown that he took early kind of led me to believe he wasn't going to win. But in the end, once again, predictable, yes, to a lot of us, but the right call, in my opinion, to have Drew finally get a shot against Seth at WrestleMania, not the Rumble. And it'll be Drew and Seth maybe headlining night one. Also, we don't know yet. But it'll be a shame for this not to headline night one, especially because there's a really good chance that Drew walks out the champion and he finally gets a title run with fans. He was the champ during the COVID era, as a lot of people know. And, man, excuse the hell out of me. Seth versus Drew is now booked for WrestleMania 40. Like I said, I'm just going to go quickly over these matches. I wasn't going to do play-by-play of everything that happened. Go watch the show and the recaps and all that if you want to see everything that happened. So, like I said, after that Chamber, I was in and out of sleep because it was 5 a.m. here in the East Coast. And I just went to sleep. I turned it off. I was ready to go get a shower and get my day started because I was up and awake after the Chamber. And then I saw people tweeting, Rhea headlining in her home country of Australia. I was like, no, she didn't. Wait a minute. I didn't see that match. Go back to the Peacock. Start it up. And here we go. Saw an amazing entrance. She had the Australian flag on her back, the smile on Rhea's face, her family at ringside. I mean, the writing was on the wall. This is to showcase the baddest bitch on the planet, Rhea Ripley, the best women's wrestler on the planet right now, and arguably the top draw, top face of the company to a lot of people. You know, she's carried this women's division, in my opinion. And I mean, would I like to see her defend the title more? Yeah, but who are the formidable opponents? When they brought, everyone knows that has seen me on lives, I'm not a fan of Nia Jax. It's not because of her height or her hurting people or anything. It just never was my cup of tea. Her weight, I mean, or her hurting people and all that shit. Because technically, if she wouldn't have busted up Becky's face, she's right. Becky would have never been the man and all that whole shit. But I'm not a Nia fan, but I realize why they did it. She's a dominant wrestler. She's bigger than any other wrestlers. And she had a great match. Let me just put it that way. I can't stand her either. A lot of people don't like her. I'm not a fan, but I get it. We're supposed to not like her. She's supposed to be a heel, but she's been a heel. She's not like for a lot of the wrong reasons too. But Rhea and Nia actually hit all her big moves, and it looked like she was going to win. But you know, I mean, and to go back to the chamber, I forgot to talk about the brass knuckles spot and the fact that Logan didn't get to hit the brass knuckles, the RKO. Randy eliminated him. So, like I said, I'm not going to go over each and every elimination and everything. I just want to recap everything real quick. And we're going to bring you guys on here. I'm going to drop the link here momentarily so you guys can share your thoughts. And still, women's world champion. Yes, she's not like most girls or most men or most ladies or whatever you want to say. Yes, Orton over Cena, WrestleMania 34. So Rhea Ripley, and it was a nice moment with her family at ringside. And there was an unseen part where she went back in the ring and just got super emotional. Give her credit for not getting emotional in character while the show was going on. She smiled because she I mean, how can you help it that the crowd went nuts? The entrances were really cool. I enjoyed the show overall, even though I kind of knew who was going to win each match. We talked about that on the pre-show, but it's about how they won. Like I said, we got 2 possible new feuds started in the men's chamber. The women's chamber showcased all 6 of them at some point in the match. So it was well done. It was a very good show. The people of Perth, Australia got one hell of a show. And, you know, Grayson got his shine. Indy got her, even after losing that tag match, Indy Hartwell during the entrance and a big pop afterwards. The fans were lit, man. That hard camera fan base behind there, they were on fire for a lot of the show. With different chants. They chanted "My Hole" for Nia. There was a lot of really crazy chants. I think that should be a challenge to the American audience to get your chants up. When they go over to England, they go over to Germany and Australia. The teams, it's the football, not American football, soccer fans. Their chants are incredible. And they had a bunch of them. The crowd was lit. So, yes, home country people got their shine. I mean, they didn't win them all. Indy didn't win. Bronson didn't get a match. So you can't say that they catered to all the Australians completely. But Rhea Ripley, and I thought about it before. I was like, it's a shame that she's not going to main event this show because of the spectacle. And if you watch the crowd and the reactions, and the fact that she was really down and out against Nia at one point in the match. So the match was well done. As much as I hate Nia as a fan, I respect how those two put on a main event match. And Rhea showed she finally got over that hump, that hole, if you will. And now it's Rhea and Becky. Tiffany's, I said earlier, her moonsault, they highlighted each one of those competitors, and it was impressive. So I'm going to open it up to anybody who wants to pop in. Let me drop this StreamYard link in some of the chats. And if anybody wants to pop in, hang out, tell me what they thought of the Chambers show, we'll do that. I'm going to take a little commercial break before we bring in some individuals to give us their synopsis of what they thought the show was. We heard the word predictable a lot. And yes, like I said, the results were predictable. But a couple things that they did were little surprises. I keep repeating myself. I really wish that they would have at least announced a Hall of Famer or something. All right, so let's take a little commercial break here. And then we'll come back. Don't forget, we have the Legion of Dork later on tonight. If you haven't already, make sure you set your reminders. And I see some people over on the hardcore sports side. I appreciate that. Jamar, Gab, Charles Adderley. So Legion of Dork returns tonight. The podcast for retro games and toys and whatnot. So check that out. And I think I got the links everywhere. I got to add Mitch to our group chat, so I don't have to send it to him all the time. So let's go take a quick commercial break. The Legion of Dork podcast. Let me pin that. That's coming live at 8 o'clock tonight. And let's take a little break here. We will discuss with a few people starting to pop in here. So we'll be right back after this little commercial break about the Legion of Dork. You dorks.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
It's a bird, it's a plane, it's a dork, it's a couple dorks, reminiscing some nostalgia in classic video games, toys, and cartoons. I'm your boy Blaze McCoy, and with my awesome friend Super Nacho, we invite you to join us in the Legion of Dork, a podcast where we talk about our favorites of the past and discuss it all with you. The good old days when video game arcades were full, pinball, and more. When the toy stores were stocked to the ceilings with all your favorites like G.I. Joe, Real American Hero. Well, it started all with Pong with me in the 70s. Then Atari, Nintendo, Sega, ColecoVision, and television, and more brought new classics. Classics like Space Invaders, pew pew pew, and Donkey Kong. Pitfall. Dig Dug was a great one. Spent a lot of quarters on Galaga, that's for damn sure. Tecmo Bowl, hut, 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 touchdown, and all the sports games. Super Mario Brothers became an instant classic. So did Zelda and Sonic the Hedgehog. Mike Tyson's Punch-Out was a great one to play. So was Street Fighter, Hadouken, and all the fighting games. Star Wars toys and Hot Wheels is where I started collecting toys back in the day. Masters of the Universe, and you can't forget the bad guys. Of course, Transformers, more than meets the eye. Inhumanoids are here. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Heroes in a Half Shell. Can't forget the wrestling figures, WWF, AWA, and those little guys, the Muscles. Yeah, I love playing with those, are great. Thundercats, ho! And even Voltron brought them all together with movies, cartoons, and toys. Join us in the Legion of Dork right here on the Blaze Radio Network here on YouTube. Yeah, that is the Legion of Dork later on tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern. And let me drop the link for y'all guys and girls out there. Actually, what am I doing? Let me just put it here so it pops up on both channels. We are live on the Hardcore Sports Network and on the Blaze Radio Network. So let's get some takes on some of those people out there in the community on what they thought about the Chamber, the show as a whole. And don't forget, Legion of Dork, 8 p.m. Eastern tonight. I guess I should have put that on there. You click on that link, set your reminder. Tonight, it is the Legion of Dork returns. Tonight's just going to be a fun. It's a reboot. I'm just going to show all the old slideshows, and we're going to react to it. I'll bring some people on if they want to react to some of the old school cartoons and toys and comic books and you name it. We're going to cover it tonight. Sitcoms from the 70s and 80s. We've had a blast. So we'll see how that goes later on tonight at 8. But let's bring some people on and have them quickly share their thoughts on what they thought about Chamber. First, we got the legend Jake Bagwell in the building. He can unmute. Jake is muted. So we'll go to Odds. What's happening, Odds?
Greetings and salutations.
Hello. So what did you think? Give me your little. Oh, we got a new person in the chat. Crystal, good to see you. Welcome in. Shout out to you. Good to see you. Welcome in. Hit the thumbs up. You are watching on the Blaze Radio Network. We're also live over on the Hardcore Sports Network. So, as I said, a lot of the results were kind of predictable, but
Yeah,
what's your takeaway on it, Odds?
the show was pretty much what I thought it was going to be. But with two surprises. I didn't think they were going to do Logan versus Randy, set up for that, and I didn't think they were going to continue to set up for LA versus AJ. Didn't think they were going to do that. I thought they were going to pull what the rumor was, which was LA Knight versus Logan Paul for the United States Championship, but
Same.
We'll see where that goes.
What'd you think of both chamber matches? How they, when I look at a chamber match or even a rumble, I want to see all six get some kind of shine during that match. What do you think about them? Did you like one more than the other?
For the women, I think Tiffany was the highlight.
Yeah.
For the men, I don't really think there was much of anybody that was the highlight. I think everybody got their shine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. So we got two pod spots, big ones, one from Tiffany and one from Logan. Kind of thought Logan would get one, but I kind of liked him getting his ass beat for most of the match for a change.
Yeah.
Because most people, he's been built up having some of these high spots and stuff. For him, I mean, it really shows, as much as he's a prick in real life, and a lot of people don't like him because of his podcast and stuff, he's here to do the job for the business.
Yeah, and being an ass in real life makes you a fantastic heel.
Perfect. Yeah, perfect for a heel. But yeah, I agree with your assessment on the fact that they're starting out Logan and Orton, AJ and LA, because we're only a month away from Mania. So let's start building some of these feuds and stuff. So I appreciate you, man. That's a good call. And of course, I have to promote our show next week, which is WWE 2K24 preview with me, Odds, and Triple Beat, the three Cosketeers. There's the link in the chat.
Cosketeers.
I mean, we're getting more news. I don't want to start on it now because then me and Odds can talk about that game for another hour. So we're not going to go there yet. But save it for next week. Oh, Let me try it again. Save it for next week. WWE 2K24. Let's try this again. It didn't post. Let's try it one more time. There it goes. All right. So click on that link. Hit the reminder. We're also live on the Hardcore Sports Facebook page. If you're over there, easily get a free YouTube channel. Log in and come on over and hang out with us. But Odds, I'll be talking a lot with you in this next week to get ready for the show in our group chat and on the show. I can't wait, brother. And awesome show earlier with you and Triple Beat. I was promoting you guys when we started, of course.
Thank you very much.
All righty. So let's remove good old Odds. We'll be talking to him later. And just to rehash, WrestleSense was originally a podcast with me and the boys from the Real Deal podcast, Ray back in the day, Doc, and CJ Sensation. I explained it on my Is WrestleSense Dead show a couple weeks ago or so that no, it's not dead. It's just changing. So we have it now on the Blaze Radio Network. And they're still invited. If they can ever make it, they can stop by, pop in, share their thoughts and stuff too. But we're still best friends. We still post silly shit in our group chat. It's not against doing like a live watch along or something someday with the boys. You never know. But they are busy with their jobs and their families. And still, CJ working indies. He was just at an IWC, the only IWC, International Wrestling Cartel show. And we did this before, but I do want to do it one more time just because I don't know if everyone saw this last time. And I want to share a screen before we go to a couple other people, but see if anyone new came in. Wrestling Mama, good to see you. Welcome in. And I know I'll get shit for the boys for this one, but Ray is not here, and here's why.
I'm at a black and white gala, so no, I am not watching.
I'm sorry. They used to give me shit for playing that all the time. And then, of course, Doc and Monstar, Sean, they're here. they're hanging out at some show somewhere together. So, and where's CJ Sensation?
Can I get a oh
That was his thing. So shout out to my boys, CJ, Ray, and Doc of the WrestleSense podcast. It's not dead. It's just changing. And now I love doing these little I like the recaps better than the previews by far. But let me share my screen here. Speaking of IWC, which I've been preaching it, there is no internet wrestling community because it's not a community. People use that IWC term, and you can if you want. I don't give a shit. But there's no internet wrestling community because they're not a community. I will pat ourselves on the back and brag a little bit that we are a community. We have over 30 different channels here within the Blaze Radio Network that work together. There are over 30 different channels on the Hardcore Sports Network that work together. And we're talking about Eagles and Cowboys fans working together, 49ers and Eagles fans working together, like Steelers and Eagles fans. And we got tons of we cover baseball, basketball, football, hockey, and wrestling, and even more. We're going to cover the Olympics this summer. Hardcore Sports Network. If you got sick of news and sports news on TV and how biased and clickbaity that shit is on the internet, follow the Hardcore Sports Network on Facebook, Twitter, and all that good stuff, because we'll give it to you straight. And there's some really great people in that network. Now, I talked about the real IWC, International Wrestling Cartel. I've bragged about it, about how Pittsburgh is a hotbed for indie wrestling, and it has been for a really long time. We saw it on the preview and the outro here for this show. Those like Britt Baker and Wardlow came from IWC. CJ wrestled in IWC and still referees there. But let's take a look real quick, and you tell me if the IWC, the Internet Wrestling Cartel, International Wrestling Cartel, is the real deal when it comes to indie wrestling. Here is the alumni that have fought. Now, indie feds all over the place bring in ex-WWE guys, legends and stuff, and I love that. Definitely hypes up the shows. But to me, like Prospect Pro Wrestling, it's built for the prospects, the younger guys, to learn their craft and bring in veterans, bring in former legends and stuff. But look at this list of wrestlers that have fought for the International Wrestling Cartel. Of course, we talked about Logan Shulo, and people know him as Elias. He's now Elijah. He just re-debuted back on IWC on Saturday. Wardlow, Shima Zion, DJZ, Joaquin Wilde, as well as Britt Baker. But it just gets better. Legends, straight up legends. Can't say anything more than straight up legends. Ric Flair, Bruno Sammartino, Dusty Rhodes, Bret the Hitman Hart, they've all fought in IWC. Eddie Guerrero, Mick Foley, Kurt Angle, of course, from Pittsburgh, and my favorite, Sting. And we will talk more about Sting next week when we preview Revolution, and we'll do a review on it too. It is Sting's last match. There'll be a tear in my eye. He's my all-time favorite wrestler, and it doesn't matter which version of Sting. We'll cover all the versions of Sting too next week as we send him off into retirement. We sent somebody off in the digital world to retirement not too long ago. Maybe we'll talk to him soon. I don't know. Anywho, Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, Jerry Lawler, Roddy Piper. I mean, the list goes on and on. Slaughter, Booker, Ted DiBiase, Jake Roberts, Steamboat, Mark Henry. It is a who's who. It's like a Hall of Fame. Jeff Jarrett, Larry Zbyszko, who was billed from Pittsburgh, but I don't really think he was legitimately from Pittsburgh. But great. Tito Santana, Sonny, Volkov, Valentine, Rikishi, the Rock and Roll Express, who I also mentioned last time, came to RWA, another Pittsburgh indie fed, and won their tag titles not too long ago. Yes, they're old as shit, but they can still go. Love the Rock and Roll Express. I saw a scaffold match in Pittsburgh when I was younger. I wonder if they'll ever bring the scaffold match back in WWE or AEW or something. I know, very injury-riddled match because you're falling from a damn scaffold, but it was very unique. It was, before Chambers and stuff like that. Ivan Putski, you got Bob Orton, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Coco Beware, who was at a card show last month. Shout out to the Pittsburgh Card Show. Orndorff, Billy Gunn, Beefcake, Neidhart, Steele. Look how young Adam Cole looks, man. He looks like a little baby. Are you sure that's Adam Cole? That looks fake. Arn Anderson minus the Glock, of course. You got Bushwhacker, Luke, Abdullah the Butcher, AJ Styles, Bobby Fish, Trevor Lee, Cameron Grimes, obviously, Cedric Alexander, Sterling James Keenan, who most of you will know as Corey Graves. I got to see a little bit of his wrestling, but he's teasing. He just turned 40 the day of the Chamber. They were saying his birthday. Happy birthday to him. He's teasing one last little run. And I wouldn't mind seeing him get in the ring once or twice for people, because there's a lot of people out there who've never seen him wrestle and just think he's a commentator. And he did some pretty crazy shit. Chris Hero, Cassius Ohno, Chelsea Green, or Chelsea Green. You got to say it that way, I guess, right? Deonna Purrazzo, Damian Priest, Punish Martinez, EC3 known as the Deviant, Eric Young, Lindsay Dorado, Kushida, Kalisto, Gargano, all the O's, Ali, Yim, Andrews, Gallows. We just talked about Ali having some success winning the X Division Championship at No Surrender, along with Dolph having Graves versus McAfee. There you go. Although McAfee he can do a couple of maneuvers, Graves should annihilate him. Or, I mean, we do have two GMs that used to wrestle right now. I'd love to see those two fight each other. Pete Dunne also looks like a baby. Ellering, Eric, or Raymond Rowe, Rey Mysterio, Shotzi, Shelton, Samoa Joe, Roderick Strong, Swerve, the Hardys, Nice, Spears, Guevara, Moxley. I mean, the list goes on and on. All these wrestlers have come to Pittsburgh, fought in International Wrestling Cartel. That's why it is the only IWC. Dreamer, Ace Austin, Desmond Xavier, Callahan, Rich Swann, so many. Even David frickin' Arquette, former world champion. Zachary Wentz, so many that have been part of this company, which that's why, just if you wondered why I say it's the only IWC, it is. Dalton Castle, Gresham, CM Punk, which I always remind people, CJ Sensation did beat him in 2001, and I was there to witness it, yelling Pepsi, Pepsi, Pepsi to piss off Punk, and it worked. And that's a young Punk too, man. Look at him. You got Pritchard, even Gilbert, for goodness sakes. Colt Cabana, Raven. I loved Raven back in the day, man. He was well ahead of his time. Seidel, Petey Williams, Homicide, Sanjay Dutt, Jay Lethal. I mean, the Pope, Elijah Burke, Chucky T, Matt Taven, Sandman, Sabu, Steiners, Gangrel, Janetti, Shark Boy, MVP. I mean, this is a hall of fame. Brian Cage, D'Lo, Cobb, Val Venus. It's a mix of legends. Either Little Brother Runt, Stevie Richards, Carlito. Look how young Carlito is. Chavo Guerrero, Stryker, Kamala, Kid Cash, Buff Bagwell, Powers of Pain. I mean, it doesn't end. Scotty Too Hottie, Vader, Ken Anderson, Madison Rain, Rhino, Virgil, Tatanka, Shane Douglas from Pittsburgh, the Hurricane. You're just talking about him over on Riley's stream. The Hurricane himself. Lex Luger, one of my favorites. Al Snow, because everybody loves Head, of course. King Kong Bundy, Enzo and Cash. Hammerstone, I'm telling you, man, he's a free agent right now. I really hope Hammerstone. I'm hoping he would fit WWE. He might fall within the cracks of AEW right now, to be honest. But Hammerstone, I'm hoping he gets some shine. Juice, I love Juice Robinson. Swoggle, Jazz, Chris Adonis, Thunder Rosa, Flip Gordon, Redbeard, Cornette. I mean, did I say that the list goes on? Eddie Kingston, Midnight Express, Joey Janela, Rob Van Dam. So many. And like I said, that is why I say there is only one IWC, and that is the International Wrestling Cartel. Someone else who knows a little bit about indie wrestling, throwing on the stripes, and even getting in the ring. We've known him as Riley Wolf. We'll get to know him even more in the future as Franco Costanza. He's got a little brother, sister. We had Riley's last match in an epic show on his channel. He's now doing a little more content, doing old school wrestling games, which he just did earlier today. Doing the Hold'em stuff with people using their wrestlers as avatars, which is very cool. And now bringing back a monthly show. using the same acronym, and someone helped him with the name. I don't know who helped you with that name, your new name for your show. You're muted. I can't hear you. All right. Technical difficulties. I don't want to hear your mouth anyway. So this is the best interview I've ever had with Riley Wolf. There it is. There's that mouth.
A mouth you cannot shut up, despite
Yes.
technical difficulties.
Yes. So yeah, doing a little more content on your channel. I love it. And also the retirement of Riley Wolf, and now concentrating more on Franco in the ring and traveling around. Yes, I hope someday we can get you in Pittsburgh at some of the shows around here. How is everything going with all that right now? Travel.
Everything's really good. I just I've finished up doing our student show, Legacy Pro Wrestling, the night before Elimination Chamber. Actually, I was a part of 3 matches, wearing the stripes on all 3 of them, but not being the most down the middle ref, you could say. To learn more about that, make sure to go on our Instagram, Legacy. I think it's LP Wrestling, to see that. We just posted what I did finally on the show, and that was our monthly or bi-monthly battle royal, where I lasted to the final 2 because of a strategy that I used. The stripes. I put a mask on, put the stripes on, and waited until the time was right to try to chuck out the winner, but unfortunately didn't get the job done.
That's awesome, man. That is awesome. So Elimination Chamber. We kind of went over the fact that the winners were predictable. What was your overall thoughts on the show?
Honestly, it didn't really hit for me. Like, moments really should have hit, but I think it was because I wasn't watching live. I tried staying up just because, like, I came back from my booking on that night, like, pretty much almost a few hours away from the chamber starting. So I tried to stay up, but I was not clean out. So I ended up watching later on when I woke up, and it just didn't hit. Even though I stayed spoiler free the whole time, it just didn't feel like a pay-per-view. It's like when you go and watch back an old pay-per-view that you don't remember fondly, and you kind of know what's going to happen, but you're just watching to watch some wrestling.
Yeah. I mean, I was, like I said at the beginning of the show, I said that, even though we talked at the preview and everything, that, kind of thought who was going to win. I always wonder how they're going to win, how they get to the end of the match. Does it look like they're going to lose a couple times? And where was our surprises? I really wanted a Hall of Fame announcement. We're about a month away, and we don't have a Hall of Fame announcement. It would have been cool. I mean, I think Bautista might be one on the list. Can you imagine his music hitting and Triple H bringing him out to announce that he's the headliner? Or, I mean, I know they're not going to have big regalia for Paul Heyman, but it's in Philly. You got to think Paul Heyman's got to get inducted. I'd be a shame if he doesn't.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Philly was Paul Heyman's stomping grounds for a while. He is synonymous with Philadelphia. Whenever wrestling is in Philly, they think Paul Heyman, ECW. Yep. They think of all that for a reason. So for Paul Heyman to not get into the Hall of Fame, I would be surprised this year.
Yep. Same. And there is a HOG show down there during WrestleMania week, and you will be down there, correct?
That is correct. HOG is co-promoting with Wrestling Revolver to put a Mania show on, I believe, that Friday, and it's being headlined by the Amazing Red versus brand new TNA X Division champion Mustafa Ali.
Sweet. I saw those cards. There's a site where they show all the match cards for that week for all the promotions, and I think I counted 45 shows that week. That's insane. Like GCW is doing one like every day almost. And there's so many coming down, and they have the Mania, the thing that where you just the experience where you can, but it's not right where the arena is. It's like 10 blocks away. So I'm not sure if I'll get an Uber when I go down there. I'm going to fly in Saturday night. And if you're still there that weekend, hey, I might be trying to scalp a ticket Saturday. Because when I get there, I'm going to fly into Philadelphia around 6. So by the time I get to there, it's only a 10-minute, 11-minute Uber. So I'm talking about half an hour to an hour probably till I get there. The show will be started. But I'm gonna be there Sunday. Hey, if I find an extra ticket, I might be calling you.
Oh, I'm keeping my phone pretty out there and active for bookings in general. So just
Awesome.
hey, if any stray promoters are listening, if you need a ref, wrestler, ring announcer, whatever is needed, the LBI can and will do what is needed to get professional wrestling on all stages the best quality possible.
I appreciate it. Thanks for coming on the show. We'll see you in the streams on your channel, my channel, and all that good stuff. So I appreciate you, Riley Franco. I got used to not calling you Riley. That's not going to be easy.
It definitely is, but it's a pleasure to be on.
Thanks, brother. All right, we got one more. And last week, Jake, yeah, it's cool, brother. I got to talk to Jake earlier tonight. So yeah, feel better, my man. Keep your head up. We'll get to talking to you soon enough. And Jake was sharing his thoughts in the chat as well. So Australia was the show. New Zealand ain't far away. Let's bring on our resident New Zealander. Sorry, Neo. Neo's actually live right now doing his show. But let's bring on Andy Price. What's happening, Andy?
Hey, boys. How's everybody? Yeah.
Good. So we got your thoughts before the show. Now tell us what you thought about after the show.
Well, what was I about to say? Predictable, but we've got while the outcomes may be predictable, it's going to be fun to see what the road getting to those outcomes is going to be, and I think Elimination Chamber kind of started that with a few of the things that were set up, which is good.
Yeah.
I didn't have Logan versus Randy. I thought, well, but probably him and KO eliminates Logan, set that up. But Randy and Logan's intriguing. As I said, you got to think they're going to have something big for the RKO spot planned.
Yeah.
At Mania, and if the defining one is that one that Steph and Randy did a few years back, they'll probably be wanting to top that. So it'll be interesting to see what happens.
So did you like the fact that Rhea main evented?
Women's Chamber? Yeah, it made sense. Really, I think if the Chamber had ended, there would have been maybe a mixed reaction from the fans, but I think you might as well have Rhea main event in the show on a high, because yeah, it's going to be interesting at Mania. You think Becky's maybe winning, but I'm not 100% sure on that one. Though I was thinking, as we're looking at the results, I'm very interested to see what they do with the rest of the ladies outside to title matches, because we're probably going to get a multi-tag team match with Austin and Curry defending a few teams. But I kind of like something like maybe a Battle Royal, but with an added stipulation that the winner of the Battle Royal gets as a number one contender for either of the women's titles belts coming out of Mania, just to set up the next program, instead of being like, oh, we'll do these matches and then at Backlash or whatever the post-Mania PLE is, it's a straight rematch. But I just like to see something given, just so, yeah.
I love it. I appreciate your feedback as always, my friend. And of course, I'll be seeing you in the streams. Thank you much. So we got our New Zealander and a good old Andy. I appreciate him coming on. Ram was at the chamber. The Ram down there visited Perth and went to it. So, hey, I hope you had a great time, Ram, in the DMs and stuff. He did say he had a good time down at the show. So that is awesome. But keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, we have the Legion of Dork coming up later on tonight. 8 p.m. Here is the link. 8 p.m. tonight. Come on back. We'll reminisce on some nostalgia. There's the link for that. And if you are a 2K guy, or if you hate 2K, but you're still getting the game like me, the topic of the Legion of Dork is everything. I will play slideshows of almost all the slideshows from the first season of Legion of Dork. So on Legion of Dork, you will see 70s and 80s sitcoms, 80s game shows, board games, the original Nintendo lineup, 80s candy, 80s one-hit wonders in music, cartoons from the 80s and 90s, and then specifically a little He-Man, Spider-Man, and Star Wars that we featured. So a little bit of everything. Retro TV, movies, video games, board games, cartoons, toys, music, and more. We're going to go down memory lane here in a couple hours, 8 o'clock. We're going to get down. And next week, next Sunday, and of course, we got a lot of digital wrestling to go as well. We have WWE 2K24 with odds and beat and more, you guys. So I'm definitely going to bring more you guys on. We're going to be the hosts. We're going to keep this same format. Well, and this is next Sunday. Next Sunday, 4 p.m. Eastern. So there's the link for that as well. Click on those links I dropped. Set your reminder so YouTube will let you know. I'll be sharing those links out a lot to remind you guys. We're going to get back to LTD on Monday, tomorrow, either before or after Raw. I'll be doing Aftermath. Then we got a show on Tuesday and Thursday, of course, pick and roll on Wednesday for NBA fans out there. Saturday, we will have the Brand Warfare Finals, the Lethal versus the Empire, to see who gets all the title shots in our eFed for March. And then at 7 o'clock, we're going to preview Revolution. And then Sunday is our 2K preview. Monday will be the Revolution Rewind. And then Tuesday, the 5th, midnight, or as soon as I can download the game, we are live with 2K24. That's it for tonight. Well, for today, because we'll be back in a few hours. And I'll be doing more WrestleSense like this. I like the format where I go over stuff and then bring you guys in to share your thoughts as well. So get real or get reeled in, hook, line, and sinker, because someone's always about to get blazed. Tonight, it's your WrestleSense. And as always, we end with the end of the day. And it's going to be our standard at the end of the day that I normally do. Like who you want to like, hate who you want to hate, boo who you want to boo, cheer who you want to cheer. If you're an AEW fan, TNA fan, WWE fan, all of them, it's your opinion. You're allowed to have it. Don't let anybody tell you can't have your opinion. Enjoy wrestling. Have fun with it. As always, there's so much wrestling, and it's a great time to be a wrestling fan. Did I say at the end of the day first? I don't think I did. I broke my own rule. At the end of the day, I'll see you at 8 o'clock for the Legion of Dork, people. I'm out of here. See you in the streams. If you're still here, let's get the Blaze Raid going. Neo is live. I'm dropping the link. We got a couple people sticking around. Pop over there, drop the Blaze Raid. We got digital wrestling action going on right now. Neo Extreme. Give him a Blaze Raid. I'll see you over there. I'll see you at 8 for the Legion of Dork.